know, I love live theater. And I love it because I love the ambiance of it. I love doing a show at night. I love the simple idea of working 2.5 hours a day, and if I ever complain about that, you can reach over and slap me. But I love the ambiance of theater. I love the sense of the power of the words that have been carefully chosen. I love great music, and just the whole, theater's a wonderfully entertaining and organic thing, and I love the sound of applause as much as I love the sound of silence, and listening to 3,000 people be quiet and listen. Equally compelling, and yeah, I think that's what gets me charged up the most.
So doing Chicago, first time I guess in 2006, 3 times since, and now touring, is it something you consciously have to think about your lines and your movements and all of that, or is it just ingrained?
I could literally, I don't think about, I'm opening next week and I haven't thought a single moment about it. It's something I literally could, at 5 of 8, I could turn to myself tonight and say, I think I'm just going to go do Chicago, and I could walk right on stage. It stays inside of you because it's a perfectly written piece of jazz. And I mean, not only the music, but the script. Everything has a sense of timing to it. So it's a little bit like having learned the Pledge of Allegiance. You just understand this rhythm that you've kind of got in your head, and it just always stays there. Unlike, you contrast that to a show like, I also do Spamalot, which is why I have my vacation whiskers on right now with the King Arthur and that. And I went back and did a production of that this summer, and it took me 3 weeks to remember that show. And I've done it, I started Chicago in 2005, and I started Spamalot in 2007. It took me so long to go back. I had to do 3 weeks of rehearsal before I could feel comfortable going back to do that show. However, Chicago stays right inside you.
I remember my parents saying, I know you've been an actor since you were like 3 or 4 or something.
Well, I
like
thought
that.
I was an actor at the age of 3. I didn't leap on stage really professionally until 1981. So.
My parents used to make reference to guys you'd see in the movies, and they say, oh, he's a longtime song and dance man. Is that what you set out to be?
Well, I really wanted to be a working actor, and it didn't matter to me how I did that. And my aspirations when I went to New York really were just to be a working actor, and I thought I would have a career really in the repertory companies around the country. I thought that sounded pretty good to me. I had no television came a few years later, and then started off in daytime television, and then I realized that if I moved to the West Coast, I could take the decimal point and put it over 1, and I was introduced to nighttime television, and so, yeah, I think song and dance was something that came on early, and I kind of went back to, I think, as I developed a bit of a name in television.
Mm-hmm. So with Seinfeld now syndicated in 85 countries, most successful syndicated program ever, you can't go anywhere in the world, I imagine, that somebody is yelling, hey, Peterman?
Well, you know, it's funny, I'll tell you a story. I actually was in Botswana. Of course I was. But I was actually doing a show for a National Geographic style special that I was hosting. And I was down there, and we were in the Okavango Delta, and we had just landed the plane, and I was going to meet my guide that was going to be with me for the 3 weeks I was living out there in the bush. And I get out of the plane, he goes, oh, Mr. Peterman. I said, you've got to be kidding me. He says, oh no, he says, I watch Seinfeld when I go home to South Africa. And he apparently does 3 weeks on, 1 week off. He goes home to his family, and the 1 week off he watches Seinfeld.
Expected you to
South
order
Africa.
300 hats.
I was going to say, yes, off in search of an elusive swatch of corduroy.
Golf handicap right now?
5.
And Dancing with the Stars, as grueling as everybody says, physically?
I describe Dancing with the Stars as 9 parts Marine boot camp and 1 part cocktail party. It is as elegant as it looks. It's the most grueling thing you've ever done. And it's grueling mentally and physically because you never get a sense of reward. All you do is get voted on to stay on. You get voted to stay on the island for another week. And